when you are investing with something like the House of Abhinandan Lodha, you at least have the reassurance of the fact that you guys have a clean and very illustrious track record.
Right.
But I'll be motivated by a hamper. So if you tell me what, but of course I'm going to win anyway, right?
Yes,
because I'm
ma'am.
not.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like I can hear Kunal's voice in coming out of your mouth, saying, "Why does it always have to be about her?"
I am having a bit of a fanboy moment, so slightly nervous. And with us, we have the most gorgeous Soha Ali Khan before. Ma'am, so a master's degree from the London School of Economics, a celebrated actor with such exemplary performances, starting from Rang De Basanti. I really an award-winning author. Inni and Bobo is something that I've been following with my daughter.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
And a wonderful mother. I cannot get enough of your Insta feed, ma'am. How does one do all of this? How can we do all of this, and what is next for you?
Firstly, don't believe everything you see on Instagram. We only show people what we want them to see. But I think that women actually have an innate ability to multitask.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I've noticed if you give a woman 20 things to do, she'll do it. If you give a man one thing to do, he'll do it very well. But if you ask him to do something else, he'll be like, but मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, अभी मैं ये भी कैसे करूँ? So I think women are just very good at doing a number of things.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. I mean, you have been touring for your new book.
Yes.
I mean, how is that going, ma'am?
It's going very well, actually.
Yeah.
This is I've written a book when I was I think it was in 2016.
Yep.
I wrote it, and it came out in 2017. That was called The Perils of Being Moderately Famous, which was a book for adults.
Right, ma'am.
With sort of small essays from my life. After that, after our daughter was born, Kunal and I actually decided to write a book together.
Okay.
And I don't know how many viewers or if you have ever collaborated with your spouse. It is not the easiest thing, to mix business with pleasure. But, we've done 3 in a series, and we hope to do more. And we also hope to be married for many more years. So it's quite interesting, I think,
Right.
Putting together a collaborative project, which also has our daughter as the hero of the story.
Right.
And a little adopted dog called Bobo because she's obsessed with animals.
Right. And what a beautiful depiction. I went through it, and my daughter loves it as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We wanted to sort of understand, you have a wonderful family. What does your family have to say about all the things that you do? So much you have accomplished. What is it that you, as a family, talk about? What is it that they feel about all your accomplishments, ma'am?
Thank you, firstly. Everybody has a favorite member of my family. You know, people say, oh, we love your father, we love your mother, we love your nephew, we love, there's so many people. And people always say, what is it like when you all sit down to dinner together? What do you guys chat about? I think if you ever meet actors, you'll realize most of them talk about themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's very hard to have like an interactive discussion because everyone is really talking about what's happening in their lives. And one thing that really does connect us is, of course, our home in Patodi, which is something that we're talking about more and more. Just the opportunity to come together as a family and see each other because everyone gets so busy.
Yeah.
It's not just my family. I'm sure everyone's families are busy and it becomes tough
Yes, ma'am.
to connect your children with your parents. Grandparents want to hang out with them also, cousins, uncles and aunts. So it is tough.
Okay.
But I think it's very important to carve out time for what is important in your life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ma'am, so coming to the House of Abhinandan Lodha, how did you like our office? You have been
Yes.
here for a while now, so...
Yeah, it's lovely. I believe you've moved to Lower Parel also more
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
And it looks very efficient. It's very well stocked with people who seem very hard at work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Selling. And I know for a fact that you guys have such incredible projects already out there. So it was very exciting for me actually to be asked to join the discussion today and to talk about why I love the House of Abhinandan Lodha.
So, ma'am, beauty lies
why
in
I'm
the eyes
interested
of the beholder. So, thanks to you.
No,
but
it's really-
how did you and your family come to know about the House of Abhinandan Lodha? And what made you participate in the Sealand Festival, if you can tell something about that?
Actually, because I was thinking about how many years I've spent in Mumbai and how many years I've spent in Delhi. And I think now I've increasingly spent more years in Mumbai. And as a family, we've always, of course, owned land and a home in Delhi, but we've always driven out to a holiday home outside of Delhi, which was Patodi, or then we drove up to the hills. And I feel now increasingly we want to have some land which is closer to Mumbai, some place that you can drive to as opposed to fly to,
Right, ma'am.
which we need to do to go to Patodi, for example. And I love the sea. I really do feel it's very restorative, especially when we're talking about things like pollution, when we're talking about health issues. I find something very calming and rejuvenating about going and being near the sea.
Absolutely.
And what not only me, other members of my family are looking for is to own land somewhere where you can drive to easily, close to Mumbai, and somewhere definitely close to beautiful beaches and the sea. And I know that you guys have a lot of that.
Absolutely, ma'am. And thank you once again for helping us understand why you made a conscious choice to come on board. I mean, ma'am, we obviously have done a lot of research, and of course, the improvement in the current infrastructure
Yes.
is touting Anjarle to become the Goa of tomorrow.
Correct.
I mean, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you see the potential for growth and development in the Konkan belt specifically? It's the
Right.
most beautiful part of Maharashtra,
Yes.
and we are trying to bring it on the world map. How do you envisage your life for you and your family at Anjarle?
Very happily. You know, as you said, it really requires a little bit of forethinking when it comes to purchasing land. My mother told me once when she was younger, she was offered a certain amount of money or like an acre of land in Juhu. And she said, Juhu? Who wants land in Juhu? And we're like, now we wish you'd taken that land in Juhu as opposed to like 15,000 rupees or whatever it was in those days. So, you know, when it comes to talking about Dapuli Anjarle, for example, it is already, I think, almost 5.5 hours away. But now, as you said, with the infrastructure, with coastal highways being formed quite soon,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
expect it to be much closer.
Right.
And door to door, you can be there in 3 hours. What really attracts me to those places are the beaches, are the wonderful activities that you can do when you're near the ocean. For example, I'm a great fan of scuba diving, so is Kunal. We like snorkeling, we like,
Wow.
you know, dolphins, and I believe you can see dolphins also.
Absolutely.
Also turtles. My daughter's learning about turtles right now in school. And she's also seen Moana. I don't know if you've seen the movie. But they also talk about how, you know, they're an endangered species. And there's a sanctuary actually also in Anjali which
Right,
looks
ma'am.
after them. And it's a nesting place for turtles as well. So there's so much as a family that you can do. My daughter really, you know, sometimes we struggle with how to entertain her in a flat in a city like Mumbai. But when I've taken her, for example, to Goa more recently, she spent hours and hours and hours just running in and out of the ocean, you know, and she
Wow.
was exhausted at the end of it. She was happy. She got her vitamin D from the sun. She got saline water as a natural, you know, nose spray. You know, her cold went away. And we really thought how nice it would be to own some land that we could drive to close to Mumbai. So, for example, in a place like Anjali, which is why we're really, really wanting to do this.
So, ma'am, my claims of you being a wonderful mother are, I am vindicated finally.
Well, I mean, there's no one here to contradict you. So let's just say, yeah, I'm an amazing mother.
Ma'am, talking of Goa, what are the kinds of places you and your family like to visit? I mean, you spoke about Inaya, and are all the vacations that you go to, are those Inaya's preferences, or the family decides together?
I feel like I can hear Kunal's voice in coming out of your mouth saying, why does it always have to be about her? Why can't we do something about me, for example? The good thing is what unites us all as a family is that we all are beach bums.
Oh, wow.
Kunal, as I said, in fact, he is, I think, a dolphin in his previous life. You know, he loves being in the water. He, in fact, more than me, I like snorkeling, he likes scuba diving. So whether it's my daughter, whether it's Kunal, whether it's me, we all have had some of our best family sort of holidays next to the ocean. You know, I don't want to go into a list of all the different places that we've been to all over the world, but they've all had that common bond of being near the ocean. And in fact, Kunal he's just directed his first film, and that was shot in Goa. So we spent a lot of time in Goa while he was also directing.
Amazing.
And that was very nice. And as you said, like most of it is spent, you know, a little bit of shopping, little bit of eating great food.
Okay.
And Konkan cuisine also is very tasty.
Amazing.
And also just, you know, I think you can just while away hours at the beach and not really know what you're doing. And also I think I really do believe that it is good for the soul.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. I mean, for our viewers, we would absolutely like to know. I mean, ma'am, you come from a family of Nawabs, and land ownership has been a part of your family.
Yes.
But because of your past experience as a banker, I mean, if someone were to start afresh, what would be the investment advice that you would give to them?
Yes.
And especially to mothers, women
Yeah.
who are deciding to start on their investment journey, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give from an investment perspective, ma'am?
Firstly, I would say a lot of people are put off from managing their own finances because they think it's too difficult, and it's really not that difficult. I think that it's important to have diversification in your portfolio. And I know, as someone who has lived a life and been younger and aspired to owning my own home, how important it is to own your own home if you can, the security you get from having land. And as something that you invest in, certainly that was advice that I have got from my forefathers, my father especially, in terms of the value of land as an asset to invest in. And we've always seen it from a long-term perspective. Not in terms of you buying something and selling it for a profit in the foreseeable future, but something that you buy, something that you really envisage yourself living in if you need to, and holding on to it for at least a minimum of 10 years or longer, where it truly has time to build in value. And then you can either pass it on to future generations, which is something that I've availed of, or, that you can then think about selling it perhaps at a later stage. So land has always been an important part of my portfolio. That's not to say they're not mutual funds and other more exciting and perhaps more risky elements of your portfolio. But I would say if you want a truly diversified portfolio, land must be a part of it.
Absolutely, ma'am. And that's such a fantastic piece of advice, because we always advise our customers to look at land as a long-term investment, because the true gains of land appreciation come in the long term.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. Ma'am, just wanted to understand, do you actively invest in land, or could you tell us something about buying land? While your application with the House of Abhinandan Lodha being aside, have you invested in land before, and how has the experience been, ma'am?
I have to say one thing that I appreciate about the process of investing with the House of Abhinandan Lodha was the transparency and the ease with which that happened, because I have invested in land before, and sometimes it can be quite painful. There's a lot of red tape involved, there's a lot of paperwork involved, there's a lot of physical going to and forth involved. And what I like about House of Abhinandan Lodha was that it was digitized, was that so much can happen from the comfort of your home, and you can really trust a group of people to look after your property, especially if we're talking about a place like Anjale, where I will be living in Mumbai, but owning land in Anjale. There are people there who will look after it, such that it is not encroached upon, perhaps, such that somebody is looking after the value of it to make sure that that value appreciates, and that it's not just owning some kind of desolate land in the middle of nowhere, because you will be building facilities around that, and some really 5-star facilities, I'm aware. So I think experiences aside, I've had many kinds of experiences. Some have been good, some have not been good, but I'm sure the one that you're most interested in is the one that I've had with the House of Abhinandan Lodha, which has been wonderful.
We look forward to hosting you at Anjale very, very soon, ma'am.
Yes.
So, ma'am, obviously, you have a growing family. Inaya is growing. I mean, you all are beach bums. And any plans to build a home in Anjale soon?
I absolutely do have plans to. This is, in fact, we've got a list of many things to do in the week, but this is my list to do in the coming year. I want to create a family home, a holiday home, which we don't have at the moment, which is drivable distance from Mumbai, where we can go. And when I think about these, when I think about the photographs we're going to be taking there, I definitely see the ocean, I see a beach, and I see some turtles. So, I think Anjale has to be the place.
Amazing, amazing. That's music to our ears, ma'am. Just for our viewers, buying land at the click of a button.
Yes.
How comfortable were you, or how comfortable should one be when they buy land at the click of a button? Because it's a high ticket purchase. It's a high involvement purchase. And doing it virtually, what would your advice be to our viewers?
I would say definitely when it comes to something like purchasing land, you have to go by credibility. And I think when you are investing with something like the House of Abhinandan Lodha, you at least have the reassurance of the fact that you guys have a clean and very illustrious track record. You have properties in Dapoli, as I said, in Anjale, in Alibag, in Mumbai, in Goa. These are places where people can see in terms of your track record. So that is very reassuring. And I would say before you click that button, do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
It's not like you don't have to visit places to know the ease of the convenience, to see the plots, to ask all your questions, like I have done, certainly. So, but how wonderful that you can do all of that work and you have the option of it at the click of a button.
Right, ma'am.
So I think that's wonderful.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The Sea Land Festival. Look forward to exciting participation from all our lovely channel partners and customers. And once again, thank you, ma'am, for coming all the way and
Thank you.
gracing this occasion with your presence.
Thank you so
Namaskar,
much.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.